हाय एवरीवन, आज के वीडियो में हम कवर करेंगे इंटरनेशनल इकोनॉमिक्स के 50 मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट 5 क्वेश्चंस। अगर आपका एग्जाम पास है और आप एक्सचेंज रेट, पीपीपी थ्योरी या बैलेंस ऑफ पेमेंट्स जैसे कॉम्प्लेक्स टॉपिक्स को सिंपल लैंग्वेज में समझना चाहते हैं तो ये वीडियो आपके लिए है। चलिए शुरू करते हैं। क्वेश्चन 1, व्हाट इज एन एक्सचेंज रेट? इट इज द प्राइस ऑफ वन कंट्रीज करेंसी एक्सप्रेस्ड इन टर्म्स ऑफ अनदर कंट्रीज करेंसी। एग्जाम्पल, $1 is equal to 83 Indian rupees. Question 2. What is the purchasing power parity theory? It suggests that in the long run, exchange rates should adjust so that a basket of goods costs the same in different countries when measured in a common currency. Question 3. What is the law of one price? The idea that an identical good should sell for the same price in all locations when prices are expressed in common currency. Question 4. What is the absolute version of PPP? It states that the exchange rate between two countries is equal to the ratio of price levels in the two countries. Question 5. What is the relative version of PPP? It focuses on the changes in price levels. It says that the percentage change in the exchange rate equals the difference in inflation rates between two countries. Question 6. What is the balance of payments theory of exchange rates? Also called the demand and supply theory. It says the exchange rate is determined by the demand for and supply of foreign exchange in the BOP. Question 7. What causes a currency to depreciate under the BOP theory? A deficit in the balance of payments leads to a depreciation of the domestic currency. Question 8. What causes a currency to appreciate under the BOP theory? A surplus in the balance of payments leads to an appreciation of the domestic currency. Question 9. What is a fixed exchange rate system? A system where the government or central bank ties the official exchange rate to another country's currency or to gold. Question 10. What is a flexible exchange rate system? A system where the exchange rate is determined by the market forces of demand and supply without government intervention. Question 11. What is managed floating? A system where the exchange rate is primarily market determined, but the central bank intervenes occasionally to stabilize extreme fluctuations. Question 12. Give one advantage of fixed exchange rates. It provides stability and certainty for international trade and investment. Question 13. Give one advantage of flexible exchange rates. It allows the country to have an independent monetary policy and acts as an automatic stabilizer for the BOP. Question 14. What is a spot exchange rate? The exchange rate for immediate delivery of currency, usually within 2 business days. Question 15. What is a forward exchange rate? An exchange rate agreed upon today for a transaction that will happen at a specific future date. Question 16. Why do people use forward markets? Mainly for hedging, to protect themselves against the risk of future exchange rate fluctuations. Question 17. What is a forward premium? When the forward exchange rate is higher than the spot rate. Question 18. What is a forward discount? When the forward exchange rate is lower than the spot rate. Question 19. What is free trade? A policy where the government does not restrict imports or exports through tariffs, quotas, or barriers. Question 20. What is protectionism? Policy of protecting domestic industries from foreign competition by using trade barriers. Question 21. What is the infant industry argument? The idea that new young industries need temporary protection from foreign competition until they grow strong and efficient enough to compete. Question 22. Name 3 instruments of protection. 1. Tariff. 2. Quotas. 3. Subsidies or devaluation. Question 23. What is a tariff? A tax imposed on imported goods to make them more expensive and less competitive against local products. Question 24. What is an import quota? A physical limit on the quantity of a specific good that can be imported during a given period. Question 25. The difference between tariff and quota. Tariffs generate revenue for the government, while quotas restrict quantity directly and may not generate revenue unless licenses are sold. Question 26. What is devaluation? The deliberate downward adjustment of the value of country's currency relative to another currency usually done by the government in a fixed rate system. Question 27. How does devaluation help the BOP? It makes exports cheaper for foreigners and imports more expensive for locals, which helps reduce a trade deficit. Question 28. What is exchange control? State regulation of foreign exchange transactions. The government centralizes all foreign currency and rations it out to buyers. Question 29. What is the main objective of exchange control? To conserve foreign exchange reserves and stabilize the exchange rate. Question 30. Name one method of exchange control. Multiple exchange rates, changing different rates for different types of imports. Question 31. What is BOP deficit? When a country's total autonomous payments to foreigners exceeds its total autonomous receipts from foreigners. Question 32. What are monetary measures to correct BOP? Deflation, exchange depreciation, devaluation, and exchange control. Question 33. What are non-monetary measures to correct BOP? Tariffs, quotas, and export promotion subsidies. Question 34. What is expenditure switching policy? Policies like devaluation or tariffs that encourage consumers to switch from buying imports to buying domestic goods. Question 35. What is expenditure reducing policy? Policies like high interest rates or taxes that reduce overall spending in the economy, including spending on imports. Question 36. What is the current account in BOP? It records trade in goods, services, and transfer payments. Question 37. What is the capital account in BOP? It records all international purchases and sales of assets like stocks, bonds, and real estate. Question 38. Why is BOP always balanced in an accounting sense? Because every transaction is recorded using double entry bookkeeping. Any deficit is covered by borrowing or using reserves, accommodating items. Question 39. What are autonomous items? Transactions made for profit or personal reasons independent of the BOP situation. Question 40. What are accommodating items? Transactions made by authorities like using gold or loans from IMF to cover a gap in the BOP. Question 41. What is the J-curve effect? A phenomenon where a country's trade balance initially worsens after devaluation before it eventually improves. Question 42. What is arbitrage? Buying a currency in one market where the price is low and simultaneously selling it in another market where the price is high to make a profit. Question 43. What is speculation? Buying or selling currency with the expectation that its price will change in the future to earn a profit. Question 44. What is an appreciation? An increase in the value of currency in a flexible exchange rate system due to market forces. Question 45. What is a depreciation? A decrease in the value of currency in a flexible exchange rate system due to market forces. Question 46. Does devaluation always work? No. It only works if the Marshall-Lerner condition is met. That is, sum of price elasticities of demand for exports and imports is greater than 1. Question 47. What is dumping? Selling goods in a foreign market at a lower price than the home market price or the cost of production. Question 48. What is an ad valorem tariff? A tariff calculated as a percentage of the value of imported good. Question 49. What is a specific tariff? A fixed tax amount per physical unit of the imported good. Question 50. What is the difference between devaluation and depreciation? Devaluation is a deliberate government action in a fixed system. Depreciation is a result of market forces in a flexible system. तो ये थे वो टॉप 50 क्वेश्चंस जो आपके वाइवा में बार बार पूछे जाते हैं। आई होप ये पॉइंट्स आपको क्लियर हो गए होंगे। ऐसे ही इन्फॉर्मेटिव वीडियोस के लिए चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें। ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर योर एग्जाम्स।